Welcome to Zone 6 Picks, your go-to source for daily sports betting predictions, expert insights, and free picks across the biggest games in the NBA, WNBA, NFL, MLB, NCAA, and more. We specialize in delivering accurate, research-backed betting content with no subscriptions, no hidden fees, just straightforward betting advice you can trust. Before we get started, a quick shout-out from my partner Zone 6.
What's up, family? Thanks for tapping in with Zone 6 Picks, where we drop game picks every single day. Straight free picks, no pay for play. If you like winning, this is the zone you need to be in, Zone 6. Just show the channel some love, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you don't never miss a money play. Let's eat.
What's good, family? Welcome back to Zone 6 Picks, where every play is calculated and every angle is covered. It's Tuesday, August 5th, and we've got a loaded WNBA card. 5 matchups, sharp line movement, injury shakeups, and market edges screaming opportunity. Today we're short on time, so there's no infographics. No cap, no delays, just straight up. Researched back picks. We're diving right into the matchups, breaking down the metrics, reading the line action, and locking in the plays with the highest value. Whether you're betting single games or stacking parlays, today's slate is packed with potential. From underdogs with bite to favorites under pressure to totals primed for fireworks. Lock in, tap in, and let's get to the picks. The homework's done, it's time to cash out. First, we're diving into the WNBA showdown going down Tuesday, August 5th, as the Dallas Wings take on the New York Liberty in Seattle. Washington, the Liberty come in as 11.5-point favorites, but let's take a closer look at whether they can actually cover that spread. New York snapped a 4-game skid with a gritty win over the Sun, but their ATS performance tells a different story. After a red-hot 9-0 ATS start, the Liberty are just 5-12-2 since then, including an 0-4-1 mark as a double-digit favorite since June. Even at home, where they've been strong straight up, their ATS numbers are slipping. Dallas might have just 8 wins on the season, but they're covering machines. Since June 13th, they're 10-8 against the spread and are showing grit even when they're outmatched on paper. They've only been double-digit dogs twice in that stretch, and fought hard both times. The real X factor? Injuries. Breena Stewart is out for New York, and her absence is massive. She anchors the defense and brings elite two-way play the Liberty can't fully replace. Meanwhile, Dallas is without Segrist, Harris and Samuelson, and Hines Allen is day-to-day. But Paige Buchers continues to shine as a rookie, giving this team offensive punch and confidence. Stat-wise, New York still ranks near the top in scoring and field goal percentage, but their defense has slipped, especially with Stewart out. The Wings aren't efficient, but they push pace and can score enough to stay close. They average 82 points per game, and with the Liberty allowing more than usual lately, there's room for Dallas to make this one competitive. Don't forget, the Wings beat New York outright earlier this season as an 8-point dog. They've shown they're not scared of the moment. With all things considered, recent trends, injuries, and head-to-head history, I'm backing the Dallas Wings to cover the spread. Final score prediction: Liberty 91, Wings 83. Let's keep it rolling. We're heading to Chicago for the second game of Tuesday's slate, where the Washington Mystics will face off against the struggling Chicago Sky. The spread is in Washington's favor, now sitting at -7.5, and there's plenty of reason for that. The Mystics come in at 13-15 on the season, and recently fell to the Dream. But just last week, they smoked this same Sky squad by 17. While Washington has dropped 2 straight, they're 6-7 on the road and 4-7 as favorites. Far from perfect, but far better than what we're seeing from Chicago. The Sky are on an 8-game losing streak and haven't won since July 12th. Even worse, they've lost by double digits in 7 of those 8. At 7-21 on the season and just 4-10 at home. This team is in a downward spiral, and the injury list only makes things worse. Angel Reese, Ariel Atkins, and Courtney Vandersloot are all out, leaving a huge gap in scoring, leadership, and rebounding. Meanwhile, the Mystics are without Sika Cone and Georgia Amor, but the emergence of rookies Sonia Citrin and Kiki Iriafen has softened that blow. They combined for 50 points in last week's win over Chicago and continue to take full advantage of the Sky's porous defense. Statistically, it's lopsided. The Mystics allow just over 80 points per game and are top 5 in defending both field goal and 3-point percentages. Chicago, on the other hand, ranks dead last in offensive and defensive efficiency. They allow the most threes per game and give up nearly 45% shooting overall. Combine that with their lack of scoring, just 76 points per game, and it's no wonder the line jumped from -5.5 to -7.5 for Washington. The Mystics have dominated this matchup, winning 5 straight against the Sky and covering in 8 of the last 10, with Chicago decimated by injuries and still showing no signs of improvement on either end. I see no reason to back them here. Final pick, Washington Mystics minus 7.5. Lock it in and trust the trend. Let's get hot and straight cashing. Sliding into the next city, we head to the desert for a late-night matchup as the Phoenix Mercury host the Connecticut Sun. Let's get this straight from the jump. This game is in Phoenix, and the spread has remained steady, with the Mercury favored by 14.5. Total has climbed from 162.5 to 168.5, signaling an expected uptick in pace and scoring. But what's catching my eye is that sharp money is leaning hard on the underdog. Connecticut enters with just 5 wins on the season, but don't let that fool you. They've quietly gone 14-13 against the spread. The market has long priced them as one of the league's weakest teams, but lately they've been punching above that rating. Their recent net rating sits at plus 2.4, and defensively, they're holding opponents to under 100, while absolutely dominating the glass. That rebounding edge is going to matter a lot against this Phoenix team. The Mercury have been good overall at 17-11, and they're covering at a decent clip too, but their recent net rating is negative. Their defense has slipped, and they're playing slower, which makes this kind of spread dangerous. What we're seeing here is a matchup between a hot-shooting favorite and a gritty, fast-paced underdog that thrives on second chances. The public loves Phoenix, but the line hasn't moved, and sharp money is clearly respecting Connecticut's ability to grind out covers, even when losing. There's a real chance Phoenix wins this game comfortably, but still fails to cover the 14.5. My projection has them leading all night, but the Sun crashing the boards, dragging out possessions, and keeping the back door wide open. Final score prediction, Mercury 86, Sun 75. The play is Connecticut plus 14.5. Staying 10 toes down on the West Coast, we head to LA, where the Sparks host the Indiana Fever at Crypto.com Arena. The line has shifted sharply from an opening number of Sparks plus 5 to the current plus 1.5, reflecting growing market confidence in the home team. Indiana enters this one at 16-12, but they'll be without Caitlin Clark, and that's a major piece missing from their offensive structure. Still, Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard have been forces inside, and Kelsey Mitchell continues to carry the scoring load. The Fever have gone 3-2 in their last 5, but have been inconsistent overall, especially away from home, sitting at 6-9 on the road and 14-16 ATS on the year. The Sparks, meanwhile, are trending up at just the right time. Winners of 4 of their last 5. They've taken down quality teams like New York, Connecticut, and Seattle. They've also already beaten Indiana twice this season, both times on the road. This marks the first time LA gets them at home, where they've been one of the league's best ATS teams, going 8-3-1 against the number. Offensively, both squads bring speed and firepower. Indiana ranks 4th in offensive rating and plays at the 4th fastest tempo, while LA is right behind them in both metrics. The combination of pace and shot volume points toward a potential shootout. The Sparks have been thriving under first-year head coach Lynn Roberts, and their chemistry is starting to click. The head-to-head edge, combined with momentum and sharp line movement in their direction, makes them the value side in this spot. Final score projection, Sparks 90, Fever 88. That has the Sparks winning outright and covering the plus 1.5 spread, while the combined total clears the posted number of 177.5. The official play, over 177.5 with a lean to the Sparks plus 1.5. Let's ride the wave with the over in LA and close this game strong. Ending Tuesday's WNBA slate in Seattle, where the Storm host the league-leading Minnesota Lynx at Climate Pledge Arena. The spread has Seattle as slight favorites at minus 2.5, and there's a major reason why the books have leaned that way. Minnesota enters with a dominant 24-5 record, but that strength is taking a major hit tonight with Nafisa Collier ruled out. She's the engine for this Lynx team on both ends, and without her, Minnesota loses its primary scorer, rim protector, and floor leader. The Storm are 16-13 overall, but just 5-10 against the spread at home. Still, with Collier out, this matchup shifts in Seattle's favor. The Storm defense ranks among the league's best, especially against players like Jessica Shepard and Alana Smith, who now must shoulder a larger load for the Lynx. Both have struggled against Seattle this season, failing to meet their player prop lines consistently, including Shepard going under on her points, rebounds, and assists in every matchup. Seattle's offense also has edges. Erica Wheeler, Gabby Williams, and Ezzie Magbiger have thrived in this matchup, often outperforming expectations against Minnesota's defense. The Storm averaged nearly 87 points over their last 5 games, and their ability to create from the perimeter could prove decisive against a weakened Lynx defense. While Seattle's home ATS record is concerning, the Lynx are vulnerable without their star. The Storm's recent success against Minnesota's core, combined with defensive matchups that clearly favor them, puts them in position to not only win, but cover the -2.5. I'm giving Seattle one more chance in a game they are supposed to win. If they blow this one, I'm fading their ass every chance I get because they will be hot garbage coming out of a porta potty. Anyway, final score projection: Storm 79, Lynx 75, lock in Seattle goofy ass -2.5. Alright fam, let's run it back with a quick-fire recap of today's full WNBA slate. Because we've done the homework, broke down the angles, and now it's time to cash. Starting in Brooklyn, we're backing the Dallas Wings plus 11.5 against the Liberty. New York's been shaky covering big spreads, and they're without Breena Stewart. Meanwhile, Dallas has already beat them once this season, and continues to fight hard as a double-digit dog. Next up, we're heading to Chicago, where we're locking in Washington Mystics -7.5. The Sky are still spiraling, 8 straight losses, major injuries, and nothing to slow down this Washington squad that's already handled them 3 times this year. Mystics roll again. Out west in Phoenix, we're grabbing the value with the Connecticut Sun plus 14.5. This line feels too rich. The Mercury are inconsistent covering lately, and the Sun have been dominating the glass and speeding up tempo. Sharps are fading the favorite, and we're riding with the smarter side. Then in LA, it's time to trust the Heat. We're leaning Sparks plus 1.5 and officially over 175.5. They've won 4 of 5 and already beat the Fever twice on the road. Even without Caitlin Clark, Indiana plays fast, and both squads rank top 5 in pace and offensive rating. Points are coming. And finally, we close out the night in Seattle with Storm -2.5. Nafisa Collier is out for the Lynx, and that changes everything. Seattle's defense has already neutralized Minnesota's frontcourt this season, and now the Storm are in perfect position to close the night with a dub. But if they don't, I'm done with their ass like a bad habit. That's the full card, 5 games, 5 picks all backed by research, data, and that Zone 6 edge. Lock them in, trust the process, and let's get a W in the column.